Hi, my name is Terryann Nikides. I'm owner and founder of Urban Retreat and creator of the Nikides system. If you're anything like me, you've probably had some blocks in your life. Saying only maybe that you've had some blocks in your life, but I've had quite a few. Probably too many to mention to you here. But one of the biggest blocks I've had is living the life that I always wanted, which is happening to me right now. I travel around the world teaching people how to actually live everything that they've ever wanted to live. So what I've put together is a system that'll help you to see what your fears are, actually approach those fears in a gentle and loving way, be able to approach the block that you have. One of the things that I understood in my life was that everything that I couldn't do was based on some insecurity. Even though I understood that, I was still making all these excuses. Things like, oh, I shouldn't do that because of this, or I can't do that because of finances, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't look good enough, or problems with my body image. I had anorexia, I was bulimic, I worked for years for my dad in a factory, which was very successful, but he only paid me $100 a week, and I thought that's all I was worth. And when I went out on my own, I didn't really understand that, you were worth more than $100 for 90 to 100 hours work week. Yeah. So I ended up graduating in psychology, seeking a bunch of answers to why I couldn't get through these blocks. I studied meditation. I studied under different teachers, including the Dalai Lama, Dasko Losin, Cyprus, and hundreds of others. I became a Reiki master, a massage therapist. I learned different systems of how to break down your beliefs. And the thing that I found that was the most effective way to see what was true and not true about myself was, one, my perspective. Often I would say, oh, I can't do that, and then I'd see someone else doing it, and they had the same set of issues as I had, but they were doing it. Like, being overweight, I'd say, oh, you can't find a boyfriend. And of course I'd see someone who was overweight and they'd have a boyfriend, beautiful, loving relationship. And I think, well, why am I not doing that when, they can do it? Or someone who had a tough family history, even tougher than mine, and they could get through things and they could do things. So I realized it was mostly in my mind. The mind was holding me back. And I found that, well, okay, I know it's my mind, but then once I know it, shouldn't I just be able to release what's going on in my mind? And then I realized, but there's a lot of fear attached to it, which links to, my low self-esteem. So I started exploring how could I actually get to understanding this more deeply in myself. So one of the exercises I learned when I was a teenager was to move from my mind into my heart. And one of the simplest ways to do that is to just put your hand on your heart. You can even put both hands on your heart. Sometimes that even works better. And just move your consciousness, all of your mental processes, just kind of let them go and sink down in your heart. You can try this right now with me, and you can focus on something that you're blocked with, something that you're unable to get through, like finances. Yes, you could just sit there and go, well, what is it that's really blocking me? Are finances really blocking me? And more often than not, the first answer that comes is no, that's not what's blocking you. So you just keep breathing and track through your body any tensions. So you'll feel those tensions, and they're kind of screwed up into this twisted knot. And when you breathe into it and you start to just keep, the thoughts can still come, I can't, but you just let those pass and you keep working on the tension. And what starts to happen is you'll feel the emotion, but because it's so gentle and so loving, the emotion will have some love, which it's never had from you before. It's never experienced it. So the moment you give it some love, it has the freedom to actually move out of your system. And you'll find that even your body changes. Your whole form can change. You could have a pain and you could just feel that pain untwisting. You could have a tension somewhere where you feel like, oh, no, if I try that, if I try to go out to find a man in my life, or for the men out there, if you go try to find a woman in your life, you can feel all that contraction. But when you enter in your heart, you just feel it untwisting. And you will see all of your beliefs. You will look at them. But well, you'll see them, and it's kind of like looking at them, and they start to take hold. But if you keep giving them love, you'll just release them. You can, oftentimes people start feeling vibrations or heat coming out of their body, and you'll start to release it. And there's obviously so much involved with our conditioning. And you know, the Nikides system actually takes you through that conditioning. So you go through an 8-part system that takes you from something you're blocked with, and we use this fundamental exercise, which you begin practicing right now, so that when you come and you do the system and you go through the 8 parts, you get to the end, and yeah, you're completely free. If you don't start it now, don't worry about it. We do it in class. So if you're looking to live the life that you want, anything that you want, and I mean anything, I never thought it would be possible that I'd be traveling around the world teaching this to people in Brazil, in Africa, in Hong Kong, and now I'll be at the end of June, I'll be in the UK teaching this, and seeing people living life in a more full way. And that's not just, you know, the living of life. It's not just your relationships, it's not just money, it's not just living fully, but even if you have physical body image issues, if you have any, you know, disabilities in your body, you can also start to heal that in a very, very profound way. So, you know, as soon as you get off this video, you can sign up for my courses. You can go to www.leurbanretreat and sign up right away, and we can move you through all of your blocks. Thank you.